following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Hello and welcome to episode 66 of the Big YAC Podcast. It is I, Mike Pareto. Alongside me is the birthday boy, Nico Salambenny. How are you doing today, buddy?
Thank you. I'm doing good. I mean, officially it was yesterday.
But
hey, it was good. It was a real good birthday. Kind of recovering from today. Recovering all day today. And
yeah, what'd you guys do last night?
So last night we ate at Mulberry.
Oh, Mulberry's?
Yeah, never had it before yesterday.
That's good.
And that was fantastic. Mm-hmm. I didn't know until after that. I guess a bunch of Bills players eat there all the time.
Yep.
You go in there and there's just like a wall of like everyone that's eating there. That's somebody. Mm-hmm. So all these different football players, all these different athletes, a bunch of different people are on that wall as signatures and like had the meatball. They're famous for their meatball, and that was fantastic. Probably up there with the best meatballs I've ever had. Got some gnocchi. And then, what did we do afterwards? Then we went to karaoke.
Oh, yeah?
Tuesday night karaoke.
Tuesday night karaoke. I saw some videos on Snapchat.
Molly and I sang Don't Stop Me Now. And then, D'Angelo sang Give It To Me, Baby.
By Rick James?
By Rick James.
Oh, I love that song.
That's classic.
I have a little surprise for you, actually.
Oh, boy. What do we got going on here?
A little surprise for you. It's in the old backpack. I know for my birthday, you went all out with the birthday cake shots.
Birthday shots. That was fun.
I'm not that not media savvy. I don't know why I just said that. I'm not a bartender guy, so I got you some Mafia Vodka.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Shot glass? Or you?
That's another thing. I don't have any shot glasses on me. Ransom might.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate you. We'll have to take a on-air shot.
On-air shot, yeah. I mean, look, for my birthday, yeah, you did the birthday shot. So I was like, you know what? Like, let me return the favor. Let me get some.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
And I've had some Mafia, like the vodka and the Mafia sauce.
Mafia Vodka and the Mafia sauce.
These are not regulation shot glass size, so don't fill it up.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Can't go heavy. Sleeping in the bunker.
Little Big YAC sleepover. How does it feel to be the big 2-4?
Dude, it's weird. It's I kept saying to Molly, I'm like, I am a year away from the quarter century mark.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Shout out Mafia Vodka.
Locally
distilled. Did you know that?
It is.
Distilling.
I was reading it when I bought it. I was like, it's actually made locally.
Yeah, it's made in Buffalo. It's a whole. They have a really pretty good line of products too. That's vodka, baby.
All right, cheers. Happy birthday, Nico. Ooh. All right. Well, that's
Let's get into it.
Woo! That's Mafia Vodka. Shout out Mafia Vodka. If anybody is watching who represents it or they're a fan of the podcast, that went down very badly.
Went down the wrong pipe.
Yeah. Oh.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's the thing. It's like for taking shots, I need certain liquors.
You need a chaser and a.
Well, not a chaser. Like I could take like any kind of whiskey. Like I usually take like a champ.
Yep.
But like vodka just like sends me into hell. Like. Like that, even like tequila, kind of screws me over a little bit.
That's what I you know what? I'll be honest. I was mixing it up, and I never.
It's your birthday,
but it's my birthday. I'm like, we had 2 bottles of wine at dinner.
Oh, there you go.
3 of us, so it was or 4 of us rather. And then afterwards, picked up a little thing of tequila for the pregame karaoke. And
what'd you get? Did you get Casamigos?
Man, I gotta put you onto some good tequila. Casamigos is too expensive for.
I'm a cheap date, man. I'm a cheap date. I'm a cheap date. That's the thing. Is like for my birthday, dude. When we were in Toronto, who brought the Caca? I called it Cacamigos.
Yeah,
called it Cacamigos. It is Cacamigos. It's Caca. It's not good. who brought it? I forgot who brought it, but somebody brought it, and we drank the whole bottle, and things didn't go well, but it's just not good. Like, I don't know, but that's the thing is I don't drink enough tequila to know what's good.
I like good tequila.
Yeah.
I do like a good reposado tequila. I got to put you on to some better price stuff. Half the price, you can get like double the quality.
Yeah, I mean, I figured. I mean, Casamigos is such like a, you always see on like Facebook or like somebody makes a meme like, oh, that dude's off the Casamigos, and they're like at the club like hanging from the ceiling, like off the caca, like.
Yeah, I know. Yesterday I grabbed some Terramana, which is the Rocks tequila, and I'm not like a big like celebrity like liquor guy.
Yeah.
But this one is really good, really well made. So I enjoyed some tequila lemonade before the time, and then got to the bar and I ordered one of my favorite concoctions. If anyone sees me on Snapchat or anything like that, they'll know what this little doohickey is.
Mm-hmm.
An Angry Ball.
An Angry Ball.
It's Angry Orchard, or you can use any hard cider, but with a shot of Fireball. And so you take the Fireball, and you take the cider, or you can throw the shot of Fireball right into the cider.
Here's the thing, man, is like I love cider, but the thing is I hate Fireball. Like I don't know.
Bad? Did you have too many bad experiences?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's been times where like I'd go to like a party, years ago, and people would force Fireball down my throat, and then you end up throwing it up at the end of the night because you didn't eat that much.
Classic.
Yeah.
No, actually, at this bar, it was Jack Fire they had instead of Fireball. So it's a little step up in quality. I like a good Jack Fire.
I like Jack Fire better.
I had this convoluted story went from having wine to tequila to Fireball to cider. And, like, I'm old now, man.
You're old now? Oh, my God. We're not old, man.
I woke up, and I'm like, I haven't had a headache after waking up in a long time. Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing though. It's like for your birthday though, you got to go hard. That's the thing. You gotta have fun, and that's the thing. When you mix like that, man, that's the thing. You're just kind of like the next you don't think about it at the time. You're like, yeah, it's my birthday.
Another drink.
Yeah, let's get crazy, and then the next morning it's just like, wow. Yeah. And I feel like this has happened like it's like an every year thing. Yep. I feel like it's more of like. It sucks more as you get older, as obviously, but I mean, yeah, no, the birthday hangovers are very unpleasant, very, very unpleasant.
Needless to say, I had off of work today, so
there you go.
got to enjoy it and relax, and then going off to DC this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Molly and I are going down. My cousin Caleb and his fiance had their first baby
child. Yeah. Okay.
So.
Congratulations, Caleb.
There. Yes, yeah. The baby was born back in the end of May.
I think we gave him a shout out the last time. I don't really remember.
We might have talked about it when the baby was born, but going down to meet the baby for the first time. So I'm very excited for that and doing all the stuff that DC comes with.
Yeah, go to a Washington Commanders game.
Probably not.
No, probably not. All right.
Yeah, they're facing the Giants. I don't know if I want to.
That game might be a stinker.
I don't want to subject myself to that. I'll be able to sit at home. I have Sunday tickets. I'll be able to sit at my aunt's house and watch the Bills game.
There you go. Bills play the Patriots. We're gonna talk a little about the NFL headlines.
Before we get into that,
yeah.
I just want to say shout out to your mans for.
Oh yeah, if that totally slipped my mind. David, if you're watching this, I have a close friend. Since I was younger, his name is David Muzzy.
Shout out the Muzz.
Yeah, shout out the Muzz, the Fuzzy Muzz. Him and his brother and his family. We've been close friends for a while. And David hit me up literally out of nowhere and goes, "Hey man, got some sports memorabilia, particularly football. Do you want it?" And I was like, sure. Like, why not? Like, I'm never a man to turn down like things.
Some memorabilia?
Some memorabilia, So we got a couple interesting things. If you want to give us a little bit of a zoom in. So we have a Tyreek Hill signed Kansas City mini helmet.
That's fun.
It's the Eclipse alternate, so it's obviously not like a real alternate, but it's one of those like fun like fan crossover things that they did. So yeah, Tyreek Hill Kansas City helmet. We got that displayed right here. If you go over to Nico, behind him we have a can't really see it, but we have a signed Philadelphia Eagles Mike Vick jersey. Authenticated signatures. And we don't have them listed or shown in our studio right now, but we also got another Michael Vick signed jersey. I don't know, David, why you had a couple, but he did. I asked him this morning when he dropped it off. He was like, I don't know, man. I was like, all right. That's understandable. So he gave me a Virginia Tech Michael Vick jersey because he went to Virginia Tech. Signed. And then O.J. Howard.
I was going to say, that's the creme de la creme right there.
O.J. Howard, Buffalo Bills jersey.
Bills legend O.J. Howard.
Bills legend had
There's
a
Bills
catch.
Legend O.J.
And then
just
just
leave it at that.
that.
Yeah, we got a signed O.J. jersey.
O.J. who?
O.J.
O.J.
The young one.
The young one. Not the guy that's hanging out at like Mr. Goodbar. Hey, yo. No, he was in Buffalo. Not Mr. Goodbar, but he was hanging out at Patrick's rooftop a couple weeks ago. And I wanted to see him so bad. I just didn't know he was there. So, yeah, O.J. Howard jersey. So, yeah, we got a couple things of memorabilia. We might do some giveaways because, I mean, we don't really have a use for two.
Yeah, we're not the big Michael Vick podcast.
We're not the big Michael Vick podcast. I mean, shout out. His name's Michael, but, we don't have a need for both.
We need a Nico Collins signed jersey.
Nico Collins.
That's what we need.
Let's call up Nico Collins. Have him drop off a jersey. You ever see the guy on TikTok who he emails or he sends in letters to
Every
NFL or sports organization asking for free things, and he always gets something. He'll get a signed
I think he just gave us some content idea.
Yeah, he got a signed. He gets signed programs or a wristband and then a decal.
Maybe we should do that. Let's do the Big Yak branded stuff.
The Big Yak branded stuff. Come on.
Ship us some stuff and we'll put it on display on our lovely wall that keeps growing.
Yeah.
For my birthday, my parents got me that collector's Josh Allen figurine. You can't really see it.
Go Josh.
You might be able to see it behind Mike. Oh no, you can't. You can't see it behind Mike.
Darn.
But it's a nice little 6-inch figurine. They only made a finite amount of them. So we got that display on the show, and then had to put up my alma mater, the Syracuse pennant, of course.
Shout out Cuse.
So
go Orange.
Had to get the Syracuse pennant up in there. Got to rep my my old undergrad. I said, Mike, we gotta.
Yeah, UB one, man.
UB one.
Yeah, it's coming soon. I just gotta I haven't been on campus since I graduated. I've been very I don't want to go back. It's not it's not. I love UB. Yeah. Shout out UB. Thank you for my education, but yeah, I just try to avoid it. I'm not gonna lie, because then maybe I'll sit there and be like, you know what, grad school sounds kind of fun, and then you're another 20,000 in debt, and then it's just another rabbit hole. So. Yeah, maybe I'll stop by. Maybe I'll go to a game and I'll
pick up a pennant.
I'll pick up a pennant. The only thing is UB is just their record is not good. So maybe I'll go to a basketball game.
Yeah,
the basketball team's good.
It's something.
Yeah,
another update to our back set. We took off the loop. I don't know if anyone noticed in the last few episodes, but it would blink in the background for some reason. We tried to play with it, tried to tech up the video, but nothing. So. We have a new background, and it doesn't blink.
Shout out the red. Shout out the red.
A while back, we kind of officially changed colors from brown to red. So this kind of supports us even more.
Shout out. So yeah, thank you, David, for giving the memorabilia. We might do a giveaway, auction, not auction, but give away some of this stuff. So we will see. We'll keep you guys updated. Going on to our show. We have some NFL headlines. Anthony Richardson to miss the rest of the season with his shoulder injury.
That's unfortunate.
And Anthony Richardson was having such a nice rookie year heading into that injury. And so now Gardner Minshew takes over. Indianapolis is kind of in a little rut. I mean, they got Jonathan Taylor back. We didn't really get to see the Jonathan Taylor, Anthony Richardson combo we should have.
Colts fans, you're going to have to wait another year. It's very unfortunate, but it's for the best for the franchise. I mean, he's taken a lot of hits, and honestly, I say it half jokingly, but maybe you can get some notes from Josh Allen and then Tua too, just to learn how to fall and learn how to take hits.
Yeah. We have the Buffalo Bills falling to the New York Giants, or not falling to the New York Giants, almost falling to the New York Giants. Surviving the New York Giants. And that's the thing. It's like I said falling because it doesn't feel like a win.
It does not.
It does not feel like a win.
And I'm going to be honest. I'm a Bills fan at heart. I'm a homer, but at the same time, I'm a realist. That was holding on the very last. It was more holding on that very last play of the game, more so than the play before that got them to the 1 yard line.
The play before was really bad. I think both are.
Both are bad.
Yeah.
But for the first one to get called and then not the second one, or vice
versa,
versa,
okay, I see what you're saying.
There was no consistency with the refs that game, and I mean, it just seemed like they were way too flag happy.
Yeah.
Especially, and the Bills just aren't playing disciplined football right now.
They're not.
Between the last 2 weeks, I don't know. You can blame it on London. You can blame it on what? Maybe they're still jet lagged. I don't know.
Still jet lag. I mean, it might take like a little bit to recover.
The Bills' offense, and we'll get into it later in the show. I mean, they're these last 2 weeks. I saw a stat comparison. They're like a bottom 5 offense in these last 2 weeks. And of course, it's a small sample size. It's 2 weeks, but we're into that second quarter of the season. The first quarter, I mean, they were breaking records. Josh Allen had however many offensive player of the AFC Offensive Player of the Week awards. Mm-hmm. But it just seems these last 2 games they're kind of in a rut right now.
Right. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll definitely. We hope that they will bounce back. They have New England this upcoming Sunday. Some other news right before the show: Jets trading for wide receiver trading Mecole Hardman to the Chiefs, giving him back to the Chiefs.
Those jersey swap or those the what do they call them? The like the previews for them.
Oh, I know
those
you're
are gonna
talking
go
about.
hard.
Yeah.
First look at
Mecole Hardman in a Jets jersey, and he went out there and did cardio. He played, I think, 28 offensive snaps in 6 games or something like that.
Yeah, something.
It's along those lines.
He was just running routes. He was just practicing,
doing cardio. Like that's it. Like he was just doing cardio. So him signing the Jets. I mean, it was only a 1 year, $4 million deal. So it wasn't a big risk. It was kind of like a high reward, low risk kind of signing. Yeah. But I mean, that Mecole Hardman signing wasn't to help out Zach Wilson. It was to help out Aaron Rodgers when he came here, because having Mecole with Aaron Rodgers was a little enticing.
That Marquez Valdez-Scantling type player, that big deep threat that you can rely on, but it just didn't pan out in the first few weeks.
Just didn't pan out. That's just not the type of offense that they're running right now. So yeah, Mecole Hardman back to the Chiefs for a swap of late round picks. We have some more injuries to tack on to the injuries that we had last week as well. We mentioned Anthony Richardson. Trevor Lawrence might not play as he has a knee injury. They're saying it's like a knee sprain
or something, like a sprain,
some kind of tweak. He might not play, so they play the Saints. We'll definitely see. I mean, that's tomorrow night. It's coming quick, so we'll definitely see if Trevor Lawrence plays. If he doesn't, then give me the Saints.
Yep.
We'll talk about it a little bit later. Deshaun Watson still not practicing. He's missed the last 2 games, and he went out and said, I'm not going to put the team in jeopardy by going out there. So Cleveland got the big upset over San Francisco last week.
Huge win.
That, and then our guy Terrell Ford saying that the Jets were going to upset the Eagles. We sat there, we're like,
why?
Oh, wow.
They punched the Eagles in the mouth. There are no more undefeated teams in the NFL.
No more undefeated teams. So that 2 of the biggest upsets. I thought the Giants at one point were going to upset the Bills at that game. So I thought we were going to see another one. But fortunately for Bills fans, we did not. And then some more big news. Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray designated to return to practice from the PUP list. That is big for Arizona. Potentially try to turn their season around. They've had a slight, a little bit of a better season start of the season than what we thought it was going to happen with the
we
Josh
thought they were
Dobbs.
Going to be 0-6 going into this stretch, but they're what, 3-3 now?
I think they're 3-3, or they might be 2-4. I think they're 2-4. I want to say they're 2-4. They beat Dallas, and then they beat somebody else. I can't think of the name, but I think they're 2-4. I want to say. So yeah, Kyler Murray designated to return to practice.
Just kidding, they're 1-5.
1-5?
Yeah.
Oh, we're both wrong.
Their 1 wins against the Cowboys.
Yeah, right. I knew they won against the Cowboys. But I was drawing a blank on who was the other team. potentially. So, yeah, Kyler Murray slated to return, so that's big news for Arizona and fantasy managers around because I know a lot of people stashed him on the IR spot in their fantasy leagues. So, you guys, it's hopefully paying off. But I mean, I know guys who stashed him anyways, and they have like 2 great quarterbacks.
Yep.
So I mean,
Trade bait.
So yeah, I mean, let's move on. I mean, we don't have the 2-minute drill. We don't have a guest, so let's go on to the Underdog pick 5.
Ready to get paid?
Ready to get paid?
I'm about to get paid. Here we go. We are proud to be partnering with Underdog Sports, our favorite place to play fantasy games. You got to check out their Pick'ems game. It's so easy to play. Just pick 2 to 5 stats of your favorite players and choose whether they'll go higher or lower. You can 20 times your money by going 5 for 5. Does that sound like fun? Download their app and sign up today using our code BIGYAC, BIGYAC.
Big Yak.
To get your first deposit of up to $100 matched. We can't wait to see your entries. Put them in the comments section below or shoot us a message. Let us know what you're picking. I got my pick 5. You got your pick 5.
I have mine as well. Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I got it. Let's go right into it. So Derek Carr is this week's special. It's 0.5 yards.
Interesting.
Higher. Easy.
Higher.
Right, done and done. Moving on to Travis Etienne, 63.5 rushing yards. Give me the lower.
Ooh.
He's only hit this threshold in 3 out of 6 games so far this year, and the Saints have only allowed that line to go for 1 game. I forget who it was, but they're 1-5 against that line, or 5-1 rather. Christian Kirk, give me 51.5 receiving yards higher. The Jags have been talking about getting Christian Kirk more involved in the offense, and we're starting to see that pay off in these last couple weeks.
Yep.
So I expect to see a continuation of this uphill trend. So give me the higher for 51.5 receiving yards on Christian Kirk. Moving on to Sunday's slate, give me Jared Goff, 1.5 passing touchdowns. I'll take the higher versus Baltimore. Baltimore's defense has been playing really well, but this Lions offense is the real deal. We can say it, everyone. We can say that the Lions are Super Bowl contenders. They're 5-1. They're
real deal.
Creme of the crop.
Shout out Tip Balls podcast.
Shout out Tip Balls. They're doing their thing over there, man.
Oh yeah, they're having fun.
And I'm happy for them because it's a good time to be a Lions fan. This reminds me a lot of the Bills 2020 season.
Yep.
Just riding high off of all of that positive press coverage for once.
Yep.
So shout out them, and then I'm gonna be riding with them. Give me higher 1.5 passing touchdowns for Jared Goff. Lastly, James Cook, higher, 51.5 rushing yards. He's broken this line or has had 50-plus yard rushing games. I think it's 3 out of their first 6 games against this really soft New England Patriots defense.
Soft.
They're missing a few of their starters all across the board on defense and on offense. And I think this is going to be one of those runaway games really quick. Now, we said the same thing about the Bills and the Giants last week, but this is a different team than the Giants, this Patriots team. So give me higher 51.5 rushing yards from James Cook. And that is my Underdog pick 5.
Let's get it. Give me the Derek Carr free square. That being said, my next one, Jared Goff. I have him as well, but I have him higher, 0.5 interceptions.
Aha.
I think he throws an interception. Baltimore has been known for their great defense. It depends on if this is also a factor that I'm thinking of is if Gibbs and Montgomery don't play, Montgomery shouldn't be playing, but Gibbs might be playing. Mm-hmm. If Craig Reynolds is out there as a starting running back, I feel like they're just going to be more and more pass heavier. So I feel like he's bound to at least throw one. Whether it's, pass that slips on him or it's a great defensive play, tip ball drill. One interception, I mean, you could do that just not even trying. So
yeah, it's a pretty safe bet.
It's a pretty safe one. Next, I have Josh Allen, higher than 257.5 passing yards. This one's a little bit riskier because we saw him go under 200 with last week's game versus the Giants. But I think the Bills always play New England well, especially they play them well in Foxborough, too, for some reason. Not even at home. They play them better in Foxborough. So I think Josh Allen's going to have a little bit of a clinic. 257.5. Give me the higher. Give me Jonnu Smith higher than 30.5 receiving yards.
Atlanta loves their Jonnu Smith.
Atlanta loves Jonnu Smith. They even got Kyle Pitts going last week too. So I mean, whatever.
Is he free? Is Kyle Pitts free at last?
I don't know. I want to say yes, but then if I say yes, I feel like it's not going to happen.
He's had 14+ point games in the last 2 weeks. They're on a little bit of a tear with him. He's got a touchdown.
He's picking things up, and I think they're just running more two tight end set anyways because. When doing the waiver wire pick up video last night, I saw Jonnu Smith's stat line. Week 1, he had a dud, but ever since week 2, I mean, he's had double-digit performances since then. And it's like...
I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'm pretty sure that Atlanta runs a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of heavier sets.
Yep.
I mean, it makes sense. They're the best run game in the NFL.
Yeah, especially, Bijan, Algier.
Exactly.
But, yeah, Jonnu Smith, 30.5, against Tampa. Tampa last week didn't look too great against Detroit. So I like Jonnu Smith. I think he keeps the hot streak going. 30.5. I mean, that's not too hard to achieve. We'll just see how well. Tampa Bay's defense has the players, but I feel like some weeks they're either, like, really good. They've shown flashes of that Super Bowl defense, but then they're also show flashes of, like, this new kind of, like, weaker defense. Yeah. So 30.5, give me the higher on Jonnu Smith. And then that same game, Baker Mayfield, give me 0.5 interceptions. Give me the higher. Baker Mayfield is known for throwing interceptions throughout his career.
You're putting the picks in the pick 5.
Putting the picks in the pick 5. And also, they're going to go up against a pretty solid Atlanta secondary. They went in the offseason, and they went out and they got Jeff Okudah. Jeff Okudah,
he's been
playing great.
Really well. He was one of those players that just really needed a change of scenery. Yeah,
it's just a change of scenery. He needed to get healthy because, he wasn't healthy in Detroit. With Jeff Okudah, it's just one of those surprising, turn events, one of those surprising additions.
Yep.
Jesse Bates, I mean, continuing to be one of the best safeties in the NFL. Went from Cincy and
picked up where he left off from Cincinnati.
Yeah, and then A.J. Terrell, I mean, he's been in Atlanta since he got drafted, but A.J. Terrell has been one of the best young cornerbacks. He is a top 10 cornerback.
Right out of my mouth. Yep.
He's a top 10 quarterback in this league, so I think Baker Mayfield is going to throw an interception here. They just haven't really been getting the running game going like we've expected to. Yep. We thought, Rachaad White's been going to have a great sophomore season, but I mean, it's just been a little underwhelming.
Yeah, from a fantasy perspective, he's been getting the volume, but he's not getting the performance.
He's like Damian. Him and Damian Pierce are very alike right now. We're like, they get the volume, get that RB1 volume, but like they can't
make the most of their opportunities.
They'll get you like 6 points every week, and it's like, oh, he had 20 carries for 6 points,
60 yards,
no touchdown. Like wow. So yeah, that's my Underdog pick 5. Use code Big Yak. Help us help you win some money.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. I do want to talk about Take It to the Bank, but before we do that, let's debate a little bit.
Okay.
Let's debate a little bit. I mean, I'm kind of going all over the place. A little bit of a wild card.
Things up for this show.
Yeah, kind of keep us on our toes.
Keep things fresh, huh?
Let me. We talked a little bit about this before the show. The last couple days. Who would you rather? C.J. Stroud edition.
My guy.
Your guy.
I go up to bat for C.J. Stroud.
All right, starting off, we're gonna start off easier, and then we're gonna pick up a little bit harder.
All right.
C.J. Stroud. Who would you rather have, or not? Wait, who would
C.J. Stroud? Easy.
Yeah. Who would you rather, C.J. Stroud or Jared Goff?
C.J. Stroud. Although Jared Goff, I have to give him his respect because he's been playing lights out. He's been playing with a purpose. He took that trade personally. Shout out Jules. He said that on Facebook a couple days ago. He's been playing out of his mind. But I'm loving what I'm seeing out of C.J. Stroud. Give me Stroud.
All right, C.J. Stroud or not Anthony Richardson. C.J. Stroud or Tua Tagovailoa.
We're going right into it. I thought you were going to give me easy ones first. So
switch it up.
All I'm going to say is this. The way that C.J. Stroud has made the Houston Texans offense look has been unreal, unlike we've seen out of a rookie quarterback in quite some time.
Yep.
I'm just picturing C.J. Stroud inside of Miami's offense and Miami's system. And I think that C.J. Stroud would outperform Tua Tagovailoa in the exact same scenarios.
Ooh, okay.
I
like
think
that
C.J.
take.
Stroud's got a little more talent. He's a little more mobile. Both are more pocket passers, but he can take off if needed. And I am just imagine C.J. Stroud with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I mean, come on.
C.J. Stroud or Trevor Lawrence?
Trevor Lawrence has not been playing as well as what we expected this year. I don't know if I have him in my top 10 right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to take C.J. Stroud.
All right. C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young?
C.J. Stroud.
Yeah,
that should have been the number one overall pick.
Yeah. He we had a TikTok comment and they were like we're talking about Carolina acquiring wide receivers and whatnot, and somebody mentioned in the comments, Carolina should have just took C.J. Stroud.
They should have.
And it's like, I agree. I mean, people
seeing what he's doing with Nico Collins and Tank Dell, another rookie. I mean,
even Dalton Schultz too. He's even piping him up too. So I mean, he's just been great. And a lot of people got turned off by like his Wonderlic test too. I mean, I remember we were talking about this during our like draft segments and whatnot, and I still thought I didn't think he was the number one quarterback, but I thought he was better than Bryce. If I'm going to be completely honest, Bryce Young was my third quarterback. Yeah. So, in my own personal rankings, when Richardson, Stroud, Bryce Young, and then the rest.
The nerds can have the S2 and the Wonderlic scores. I don't care.
Right.
I am a simple person. I see the product on the football field, and I judge based off that.
Right. It's like at this point, whatever you score in the Wonderlic test, man, if you're going out there to ball out, play ball. Yeah. Like, that's literally, like, that's probably, like, how he, viewed it as well.
It's like, I don't talk about my GPA. At the end of the day, I have a degree.
Right,
I
right.
don't talk about how I got the degree. I got a degree. C.J. Stroud, he's in the NFL. He was the second overall pick. His S2 score or Wonderlic scores don't matter.
It doesn't. It really doesn't at the end of the day. C.J. Stroud or Desmond Ridder?
C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud or Lamar Jackson?
Ooh, see, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Yeah. That's tough.
Ooh.
I hate to do it, C.J. Stroud, but I think I'm still going to have to give it to the 2019 MVP.
All right. Lamar Jackson it is. C.J. Stroud or Broncos country. Let's ride.
Oh, come on. C.J. Stroud.
All right, I got one more. Or no, I got two more. C.J. Stroud or Brock Purdy?
C.J. Stroud. Imagine C.J. Stroud inside of San Francisco's offense.
Crazy.
Yes. So
crazy.
That's easy.
One more. C.J. Stroud or Jalen Hurts?
Can I get my my solo shot for this one?
Get the solo shot pumping.
C.J. Stroud or Jalen Hurts. Give me C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud over Jalen Hurts. Are you kidding me?
I am not liking what I'm seeing out of Philadelphia so far.
Okay.
I don't know if they're having their Super Bowl hangover. Like, yeah, they're 5-1, but Jalen Hurts did not have a great game last week. Now, the
lost.
Jets' defense is elite. I will say that. But again, it's the same argument of imagine what C.J. Stroud could do with more weapons, with an elite weapon.
Right.
He's throwing to guys right now. Imagine him with Philly's O-line, with Philly's receiving core, with also adding the corpse of Julio Jones. We didn't mention that, but that happened.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I totally forgot that happened. He's like 6 on the pecking order for targets right now. I mean, it's important because of his name.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, man. You're a backup at this point. Sorry to say this, Julio. You're all-time great, but like right now, it's just you're scraping the bottom of the barrel for some stats.
But yeah, give me C.J. Stroud right now.
All right. Whoa.
TikTokers come at me.
TikTokers
I'm
come
ready
at
to
you.
argue.
Let's argue. I mean, the stats are there. The stats are definitely there.
I gotta pull something up real quick.
Yeah, let's pull it up. C.J. Stroud, and I mean, I made a trade for him in the Jules redraft league, and I traded Deebo Samuel for C.J. Stroud and Michael Pittman, and I like that return so far. I mean, that was more of insurance for Joe Burrow because Burrow was on his little cold streak, but Joe Burrow's somewhat back.
Good now.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw 3 stats. Now, I hate to be a cherry picker, but hey, we're talking total yards here. Jalen Hurts, 1,542 yards, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks.
Mm-hmm.
C.J. Stroud, 1,660 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 1 pick. That's all I'm going to say.
And C.J. Stroud does not have nearly as good as weapons as Philly has.
As a makeshift offensive line.
I'm just trying to imagine Houston with a good offensive line because I think Dameon Pierce would be much better.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. It's, because I have both Pierce and Stroud on that same team. And Dameon Pierce, again, we talked about it, same situation as Rashad White. He gets you like 6 points. 20 carries, 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
So there is actually one more thing I want to talk about. Speaking of Deebo Samuel, I just thought of this. It just popped in my head. Is Deebo Samuel the wide receiver number 1 in San Francisco anymore?
I think so.
You don't think so?
No. Brandon Ayuk has really started to show the flashes that he deserves, and that what he was drafted for.
Mm-hmm.
He has kind of taken command, and I think him and Brock Purdy have a really good connection. Deebo Samuel, I don't want to say he's been figured out because it's not like I don't think it's like that deep of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, guys are game planning against Deebo Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of know that you can put him anywhere on the football field. But if we're talking like a true like wide receiver 1, like archetype, like alpha wide receiver, I'm gonna take Brandon Ayuk over Deebo.
I think I'm in the same boat, honestly. I mean, I think Deebo is a very talented, player, offensive player, but the problem is, it's just, I'll say it, I think he's figured out. I mean, he, a couple of years ago had that insane year where he was the wide back. He was there. That San Francisco 49ers offense. Brandon Ayuk was in his rookie year, was just still trying to figure things out in the NFL. And then they didn't have Christian McCaffrey then. I think the starting running back was Elijah Mitchell, I want to say. So it's just they're just trying to find a way to keep him relevant in that offense, I think. Because you have George Kittle still. You have Brandon Ayuk, who's becoming a great receiver. He's already a great receiver.
People forget that typically, we're such in a like Jamar Chase, for example, had a fantastic rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to remember where most years it takes a wide receiver like 3 years to truly develop into the league. They always say it's like that 2.5 to 3 year mark that really like that critical third year that we always relate to quarterbacks now. It's still the same with wide receivers and tight ends too. People want that instant satisfaction like with the Jamar Chases of the world.
And that's what's happening with like a couple of the rookie receivers this year. I mean, JSN. I mean, that's not really his fault. I mean, they're running a lot of 12 personnel. I mean, and he's buried behind DK and Lockett. But I mean, he just hasn't been getting the love. And people are like, in fantasy, are like, they drafted him in hopes of this guy's going to be at least a flex play, but he's probably not going to be anything this year. Sorry to tell you guys this. Same with Quentin Johnson.
He's a great dynasty buy if you're rebuilding.
Yeah, he's great in dynasty right now, but in redraft, I know people who drafted him in like the 13th round or 12th round, whatever
I've
it
seen
was.
higher than that.
Yeah,
I've seen him in like the 8th.
Yeah, people went up for him. So same for a guy like Quentin Johnson, first round pick.
Ooh, I'd be selling if I can get anything for Quentin Johnson in redraft.
Yeah, he's like, I don't even know if he has a catch.
Bully or local Chargers fan.
Yeah, I think Justin Herbert has more receiving yards than Quentin Johnson right now. They just don't use him. I mean, it's like I'm sitting here wondering, why'd you even if like this is like what your game plan was going to be for these guys? Why'd you even draft him in the first round?
I mean, hey, I it's still too early to say he's a bust, but he's getting time on offense, and he's just not getting open, and he's not getting separation either. He's just running for fun. And he's doing cardio out there right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's just not making the right reads, running the right routes, or what. Something's going on in there, and I'd be panicking if I was a Chargers fan.
Yeah, like Brandon Ayuk, like off the rip, got the targets. He got the targets, but like for a guy like Quentin Johnson, a guy like JSN, they're just not getting the targets, not getting they're not getting open. The opportunities are just kind of like not there. But like then you see like Zay Flowers on the other hand though. Zay Flowers has been pretty solid. I mean, he's had a little bit of drop issues, but I think that was what it was expected coming into, after the draft. Was like, yeah, he's fast. He can make all the separation moves. He has, a great route running, skilled tree set, and but it was like the hands. The hands were also just not there, and he's a little short. He's shorter than your, like Quentin Johnston's 6'4". Zay Flowers is what 5'11", I think, or is he's like 5'10"? He's like our height. So, yeah, I think Deebo Samuel
5'9".
5'9",
5'9", 183.
Yeah, he's small. He is a small guy. So with Deebo Samuel, I think he's injured right now. He hurt his shoulder against Cleveland last week. But regardless, I just think his time as a wide receiver number 1 in San Francisco is over. But I think, would you shop Deebo Samuel if you're San Francisco?
I would consider. I mean, the only problem is I don't really know what's behind Deebo and Ayuk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, I don't know if I want to feature those wide receivers behind them.
Yeah.
Trying to think. They just have just guys behind them.
Right.
So I would listen for offers and see if I can maybe get a first round pick or something like that.
There's just that offense is already. You have George Kittle.
Am I really gonna want to throw to Juwan Jennings or Ray McLeod?
Right. I mean, those guys are. Juwan Jennings is good for a touchdown catch every 5 games, and then Ray McLeod is again similar build, but he's the return man.
Yeah, great special teamer, great return man. But not someone you want to feature on an offense. Ronnie Bell they drafted this year, and I don't think I've seen his name called once.
Yeah, so we'll definitely see. I mean. It all depends. I mean, they do need to compensate. They need to get some of those draft picks back, from what they did with Trey Lance.
I mean, the only other argument I would say, though, is they only run 5 wide receivers right now. They only have 5 active wide receivers on the roster.
Yeah, usually teams run 6, I believe.
6 to 7 even.
Yeah, 6 to 7.
So, I don't know. I feel like it'd be tough to trade him given your lack of depth behind him.
Yeah.
But, hey, it's a business at the end of the day. I would say that there is an offer, there's a value for every single player in the NFL.
Buffalo Bills come calling.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think we can afford him. It's kind of like the Patrick Surtain thing.
That's a Madden franchise move right there.
Yeah, it's like the Patrick Surtain thing. It's you really want him. He would help us out so much, but it's we just can't afford him. But I mean, also, salary cap isn't real.
Yeah, that is true. It's a myth.
It's a myth. Let's move on to take it to the bank. Nico, do you have your parlay of the week for tomorrow?
I do. I have a 3-leg parlay, and now I have to put a little disclaimer on this one. We don't know yet if Trevor Lawrence is going to play.
Right.
Last we saw there was some doubt, but he was optimistic about playing. So we don't quite know if he'll be on the field or not. So this parlay specifically is supposed to be made for if Trevor Lawrence plays.
Yep.
If he doesn't play, I wouldn't place a parlay on Thursday Night Football. There's just too many variables that happen at that point. But that being said, Jacksonville's 1.5 underdogs right now. So I like Jacksonville winning outright against the Saints. The Saints have a really good defense, but I think Jacksonville's the better team.
Yep.
They're starting to find their groove, especially beating Buffalo and then kind of handling the Colts.
Yep.
So I'm taking Jacksonville money line in this parlay.
Okay.
Again, this is if Trevor Lawrence plays. Travis Etienne, I talked about this a little bit in my pick 5. Under 66.5 rushing yards. Like I said, that stat line, the Saints are 5-1 against that stat line. Travis Etienne has only hit that line 3 times this season. So I like the under here. Like I said, the Saints defense is elite. If you want to be even more so, I would take the under in this game. I think it's set to 39.5. I still think I would take an under here. And lastly, Alvin Kamara over 3.5 total receptions.
Yep.
He has been catching everything, and Derek Carr still seems to be nursing that AC joint injury. He looked better this week, but you can still tell that there's a little bit of pain. So I like that he's making these short throws, and hey, he's getting the balls into his playmakers' hands. Alvin Kamara, he is getting older, but he is still playing at a really high level.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to continue to feed him, and it makes sense for us to keep betting the over on his total receptions.
Right.
So this odds currently is set at plus 608. So $10 would net you $70 back total if you place $10 down on this. FanDuel right now has a no sweat bet. So if you do lose this bet, you'll get $5 back. So once again, that's Jacksonville money line, Travis Etienne under 66.5 rushing yards, and Alvin Kamara over 3.5 total receptions. Again, only play this. I would only advise playing this if Trevor Lawrence plays.
Right. I'm even looking at, I know you said under. If Trevor Lawrence plays, I might take the over.
Yeah.
To be honest. 39.5, isn't, it's not that low. It's like not that high. It's in the middle. Trevor Lawrence plays, I think it hits by like a point.
Yep.
Maybe, but we'll see. Other than that, as I said, each week
some stinkers on this week.
we have some stinkers as well. We don't have the props for individual props for the rest of the games other than tomorrow night. So let's do a couple picks, man. Let's pick some games. Some pick'ems.
Without getting too much into detail, we could go game by game if we wanted to. The OG.
The OG Take It to the Bank. We'll just do a little speed round of who do you got, bada bing, bada boom. If you have to explain it a little bit, then boom. Lightning round. All right, starting off 1:00 slate Sunday. Cleveland at Indy.
Give me Cleveland. Their defense has been playing lights out. They are 2.5-point favorites. I think I like them outright here. I don't know if they'll cover. That offense has been playing well, but PJ Walker has been playing really well in place of Deshaun Watson. And Gardner Minshew, I'm not really liking what I'm seeing so far.
I wasn't really a fan with what I saw last week. A lot of checkdowns.
Yep.
I was not expecting that from him.
The Colts' issues, they got to get their hands into they got to get the balls into their playmakers' hands.
Right.
Give Jonathan Taylor more playing time.
Unleash JT.
Bring him back. Yeah, give me Cleveland here.
Give me Cleveland as well. If Anthony Richardson played, I would consider Indianapolis.
Yep.
Yeah, but he is not there. Washington Giants.
Give me Washington. I think that this Giants close game against the Bills was more of a fluke and more of Brian Daboll knowing the Bills system.
Yeah.
Had a lot of good intel against the Bills, and I think he just played against the Bills' strengths. And I don't know. I think the Commanders are a little bit better. They're finding the groove a little bit, so I like them here.
I might. Here's the thing, man. If Tyrod Taylor, T-Mobile himself plays instead of Daniel Jones, give me the Giants upsetting here.
Okay.
This is a little bit of a surprising pick. I think Tyrod Taylor, and he has my utmost respect. Probably you do as well, from being in Buffalo.
Drought breaker.
He looked good on Sunday night.
That's the thing. He's ultimately like exactly what you want in a game manager.
Right.
He's not going to lose you any games, unless he changes the play at halftime. But
yeah, that was his lone, whatever. But like he has such a pretty deep ball. And that's another thing too.
That one shot to Darius Slayton, I will see in my nightmares.
Beautiful for him. Nightmare for Bills fans. And then Washington, their defense has just been struggling. Emmanuel Forbes, the first round pick, looked good in training camp, but since the season started, he did not play. He I think dressed last Sunday, but did not play a single snap. I'm pretty sure I saw that. Yeah, so I like the Giants. Give me the Giants. A little bit of an upset. They're 2.5-point underdogs. They're home. Give me the Giants. A little bit of an upset.
Alrighty.
Falcons, Buccaneers. Buccaneers are at home.
So they have Buccaneers as 2.5-point favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta's a good team. They lost to Washington last week, but I think they're a good team. I think they're still going to find their groove. And we already kind of talked about it. Tampa Bay is a really streaky team this year. They get hot and cold. I like Atlanta with the upset here.
All right. Give me I'm gonna tell you with Atlanta as well. Tampa Bay. I just didn't like what I saw last week. I think a couple guys are nursing some injuries. I think Mike Evans is still nursing an injury as well. He put up a dud last week, so we'll definitely see. I like Atlanta though here. 2.5-point underdogs. Buffalo at New England.
You can zip right by this one.
Bills.
Bills done. I will take them to cover too.
All right, but I will say, if Kendrick Bourne starts torching Kyrie Elam, you might see me on the side of the road rocking,
stay in Fox.
rocking back and forth. 'Cause if I see any Kyrie Elam's performances like we've seen the last 2 weeks,
Something's got to give.
So I don't know. If I see another bad performance, especially against New
I'm
England,
ready for Jamarcus Ingram.
I'm
I'm
ready
ready
for
to
something.
see Jamarcus Ingram
We need something.
through and through.
Josh Norman.
Josh Norman, call him up.
Call him up, man.
Call him up from the practice squad.
Cam Lewis. I don't know.
Oh man, I forgot Josh Norman was a Bill again.
It's crazy times we live in. Go Bills, though. Raiders at Bears.
So Tyson Bagent lost to the Colorado School of Mines when he was in college.
Yep.
He now goes up.
Lions.
He goes up against a real NFL team this week because there is no Justin Fields. What they're gonna do is they're gonna spam DJ Moore. So Las Vegas has one job: stop DJ Moore and get to the quarterback because he's not moving very fast.
Yeah.
I love Tyson Bagent's story. I love that he was a D2 guy and is now getting an NFL start. That's awesome. But yeah, give me Raiders winning pretty handily here.
Yeah, give me Raiders as well. Bears, just Fields caught a little bit of fire up until his hand injury, but he is expected to miss some time. So without Justin Fields, I think their offense is even worse. So, yeah, give me Raiders on the road. Lions, Ravens. This is an interesting game here.
This line's interesting, and this one tells me that Vegas called this a true pick'em. Because Baltimore Ravens sitting at exact 3-point favorites.
Yeah.
And that's just home field advantage. I said it earlier, I'll say it again. The Lions are Super Bowl contenders. I like the Lions getting the upset here at plus 126.
Let's see. I might go against you. I think Baltimore's going to pull it off. Just because no David Montgomery. David Montgomery has been great.
Yep.
I'm not saying he is that offense, but I think when you have a guy like that workhorse, and then even when Jahmyr Gibbs was healthy, to spell him in here and there, has helped out the pass game as well. That's why I think I'm taking the interception for Jared Goff and the underdog pick 5, just because I think Baltimore's secondary is going to give them a little bit of a fit.
Yep.
They're still going to do some work, but I think in the end, Baltimore is going to edge them out. I mean, honestly, I could see Detroit getting the upset here, but just something's telling me without David Montgomery, we might see a slight decline.
Yeah.
They're going to become a little bit more one-dimensional. If Craig Reynolds is starting, then
I mean, we might see Gibbs. He's questionable.
He might be. Yeah, we might be seeing Gibbs. I think it's a hamstring, so we'll definitely see where they go with him.
Yep.
Next game, Pittsburgh at LA Rams.
Give me Rams.
Give me Rams
Cooper
as well.
Kupp's back, and Matt Stafford has been benefiting from that.
Right.
They have a true 1-2 punch with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. Poo and Koo.
Poo and Koo.
They got Poo and Koo, and I think that's going to be too much for the Steelers' defense to handle.
Yeah.
Sorry, Levi Wallace.
I think Pittsburgh, they won 2 weeks ago. They played Baltimore fairly well. They're a rivalry. I don't think that happens again. I think Pittsburgh is just not going to be able to keep up with the likes of Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. I will say this, though. No Kyron Williams. That's big. That's big.
They got Royce Freeman in the backfield.
Royce Freeman, Zach Evans, go out and pick them up on your waiver wires. But I like Rams, man. If it was at home in Pittsburgh, the Terrible Towels can probably get behind and rally this team. But
I'm taking the under here. It's set at 43.5, but
I like the under as well. Cardinals, Seahawks. Seahawks. If Kyler Murray was back,
to go with the up. No, it's not.
If Kyler Murray was back, looking healthy, I would consider differently. But I like Seattle here. They had a close one with Cincinnati last week, but again, Cincinnati is getting the groove back. So Give me Seattle. Dang. Chargers, Chiefs. Now we're getting into the 4:00 games. Chiefs are sitting at 5.5-point favorites. Give me Chiefs.
Give me Chiefs, but I think this is going to be a close one. Chiefs, I would take Los Angeles plus 5.5. I think that the Chiefs win by a game-winning field goal.
All right.
Booking it right now.
All right. I will say, Kansas City has been not looking like their usual selves, but LA, it all depends.
Yeah.
Depends what what kind of Chiefs defense we get. If they're able to contain Keenan Allen, because Keenan Allen's just been amazing, then I think Kansas City will win this one. Don't really like betting against Patrick Mahomes either. So, yeah, unless you're a certain circumstance, maybe if he was playing the Bills or like playing the Niners or like the Eagles. Not even probably the Eagles, but yeah, I don't really want to bet against him. Denver and Green Bay.
What a stinky game.
That's the battle for not Caleb Williams. I can't even say that because Green Bay has Jordan Love.
You know what? Give me Denver here.
Denver.
Yeah, this one's going right off of vibes. It's in Denver. They're home underdogs.
Yeah.
I feel like they've been getting beat around, and they've been kind of the laughing stock of the league for the last couple of years. I think that there's just a get-right game here, and it's against an unlikely opponent in the Green Bay Packers that started out really well, but haven't really been able to stay afloat. Give me Denver here.
All right. Give me Green Bay. I think Green Bay figures it out. They had a rough week last week, but I think it was just a bad night for Green Bay. Broncos country, let's ride. I just can't. Like I want to. Like a part of me wants to right now.
This might be Broncos country. This is our last ride.
This is our last ride. Might have to shoot the horse. I don't know.
Take it out of commission.
Take it out of commission. Horse is sick, man. Probably one of the most interesting games. We have Sunday Night Football, Miami at Philadelphia.
I'm excited for this game.
This is a good-looking game.
One. Philadelphia is sitting at 2.5-point favorites with an over-under set at 51.5, and I still might take the over here.
Yeah.
I think this has the makings of a true classic. Philadelphia got punched in the mouth by the Jets, but Miami is red hot.
They're still red hot, man.
Coming off their only bad game was their loss to the Bills, and that wasn't even a terrible game. Their defense going to come back. Jalen Ramsey's practicing up. Now, he's not going to play this Sunday, but I think that just is going to boost morale for Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, as a Bills fan, I will be rooting for Philadelphia, but I'm going to take Miami with the upset here.
I like Miami with the upset as well. Philadelphia, they lost to the Jets last week. The Jets aren't bad by any means, but when you lose to Zach Wilson, man, that kind of hide your moms.
Hits your pride a little bit.
Hits your pride a little bit. Hide your moms, man. Donna Kelsey, go somewhere.
Run.
Go somewhere.
Run and don't look back, Donna.
Run, yeah. So, Dolphins, Eagles, give me Dolphins. Dolphins are just, there's many teams, not many teams. There's only a couple teams that have their number. Bills being one of them. But the Eagles, I just did not like what I saw last week. No. They might be able to figure it out. They're at home. Got the power of Philadelphia. Those Eagle fans, are kind of, shout out Rodney.
They're rowdy.
They're rowdy. They're kind of what's the word? Rabid or
yeah, you could use an ad.
Yeah, they're a little rabid. They're a little ravenous. So give me Miami. Come on. It's just, if they had Devin A-Chain too, I'd be for sure Miami, But Raheem Mostert is still playing lights out. Mike McDaniel has been a genius on offense. And if Miami can just limit the tush push a little bit, don't put him in the position of the tush push.
Mm-hmm. It was you see that player, the high schooler, jumping over the line and tackling the quarterback as the ball was snapped.
Yeah.
I just saw this clip this morning. He literally
Troy Polamalu
flew over the line and somersaulted into the quarterback and tackled him.
Yeah.
It was one of the coolest plays I've seen out of
if you're able to pull it off, man, that's sick. But
you're not going to see that.
You're not going to see that. You're not going to see that in Niagara Falls either. No. No offense.
Sorry, Wolverines.
No offense. Last game, Niners at Minnesota. Niners at Minnesota.
The Wolverines didn't need to get a shot like that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If any of you guys are watching, any players, any of the coaches, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take a shot.
Come on, Big
It's
Tone's
just-
gonna look at you and scold you when you get.
He might. He might. Well, actually, I mean, Big Tone has had to take a little break from coaching, by the way.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing crazy. But he had to. They found a little something. I think they detected that his heart is going into AFib
Oh, gotcha.
as well. You know, my dad had a heart attack last year around this time.
Yep.
So it's been a little rough, you know, going for him. But he was coaching the first, I think, 4 games, and then he found that out after a trip to the doctors.
time
And
off,
so
yeah.
he's currently wearing this like little defibrillator
Yeah.
kind of satchel thing. So yeah,
Sending all my love to Big Tone.
yeah, sending all our love. I know he's banned from this podcast, but yeah, you know, he's been taking the break the last couple of weeks, so he might return for the playoffs if they're able to make it or next season, but we'll see. But yeah, as of right now, he's just he's like laying low.
Yeah.
And you know, if to anybody who knows my dad, he's just, you know, you guys know him.
Yeah.
He's just a very he's loud. He is high energy.
He's
like
Big Tone.
he's
a
Big
character.
Tone. You know, like we were watching the Bills game, and like it's just like, you know, I understand we're losing the Giants for like half the game, but like just seeing him like react, it's just like nowadays post heart attack, you just get like you gotta like calm him down.
Cool it a little bit.
You gotta cool it down. Like he starts getting like
Fired
too
up, yeah.
fired up, and I'm like, you gotta relax, man. You gotta. I know it's the Bills. I know it's football. We all love them. You just gotta relax. So, yeah. Shout out. Shout out to the alma mater in the Wolverines, but
You just won't be seeing any flying
flying
tush
tackles.
push.
yeah. I mean, our senior year was our last good season. Just put that out there.
Just saying.
Just saying.
That was the last year of seeing Big Boat on the football field.
Big boat. Technically, Buff State. If you want to get real technical,
That's true. That is true.
real technical. But I mean, nobody knew who Big Boat was. I was just kind of like there, and then I left. Last game, 49ers at Minnesota. I'm gonna go 49ers.
That's easy.
Christian McCaffrey might not play. We'll see. But either way, I think if CMC does play or not.
I mean, hey, Vikings are missing Justin Jefferson. So
They're missing Justin Jefferson. They're still trying to figure out the run game. They're just in a weird spot right now. So CMC or not, give me the Niners. I like Jordan Mason. Told you guys to pick him up in the waiver wire as well. He's had a combined 21.5 points last 2 weeks. I mean, that's
solid
one
for a
game.
Backup running back.
That's one game with CMC and one game without. So I mean, I think they'll be all right. I definitely think it's going to be a Brandon Ayuk or a George Kittle game for sure.
Hey, we ran through all those games. That being said, we are going to introduce something new.
All right.
Mike doesn't even know that I'm announcing this, but every week
I'm scared.
we're going to start tracking our picks.
Tracking the picks.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, you mentioned.
We talked about it, but let's you put it on the podcast, you make it official.
I gotta write it down.
Put it on the show. So yeah, we'll have penciled in our picks, and because there's only us today, typically we'd have our guest have like their column of picks as well.
Yeah.
So the way it's gonna work is we're gonna have Mike's picks, my picks, our guest's pick, and then our last column is going to be your pick, listeners. We're gonna put some polls on our Instagram story, so be on the lookout for those. And it'll be the consensus or the majority of what our listeners have voted for. So that'll be the last column. That'll be like our America Says version.
America Says, you know.
And so it'll be your pick.
Your pick. So yeah, please interact with us. Please give us your picks. You know, you guys are good on TikTok, you know, of commenting and giving us some feedback. You know, on YouTube, you know, you guys are kind of mean. You know, call me bald and stuff. But you guys on TikTok have been great. So definitely give us some feedback as well. We wanna debate too, you know, because we have some picks as well. I mean, maybe you guys don't agree with the Giants and the Commanders. I mean, Tyrod Taylor, man, I should have worn the jersey. I had the jersey somewhere. I should have worn it. But yeah, real quick, just like let's go through our fantasy football start sits and sleepers if you have any on deck.
You go first.
I go first. All right, first I'm going to go with a start. Give me Geno Smith versus Arizona. Depending on DK, like their receivers, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are a little banged up, but if they both play, I think they're going to kind of galvanize this Arizona defense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I heard Budda Baker might be returning. He might not. It's not official yet. But I just like Geno Smith. This is a plus matchup for him. Another start that I have. Actually, no, I'm going to go for a sit since we're on quarterbacks. Give me Kirk Cousins as a sit. Kirk Cousins going up against San Francisco. No Justin Jefferson. It's just looking a little rough.
Yep.
I mean, got Jordan Addison a touchdown. Got KJ Osborne and Hawkinson going a little bit. But, we talked about it. 49ers should easily win this game. As we said, they're just in a little bit of a rough spot. So sit Kirk Cousins if you're able to. I mean, you should be able to. I mean, he's not. He had off to a hot start. First couple weeks, he was quarterback one at one point. But I would leave him on the bench. Going to running backs. A running back that I'm looking at is James Cook versus the New England Patriots. You talked about it in your Underdog Pick 5. New England has just not been great overall. Their defense is better than the offense, but James Cook has been consistent in the terms of getting yards. I think he finally hits the end zone that we've all been waiting for the last couple of weeks. It all depends on how the split goes as well. Damian Harris might not play. He had that scary neck injury last week. But they've been using Latavius Murray a lot, more and more each week. So with no Damian Harris, and hopefully a little bit of less percentage from Latavius Murray, James Cook's looking like a nice start.
Yeah.
A sit for me for running back. I'm still holding off on Jonathan Taylor right now.
Yep.
Zach Moss is still
That's
playing.
funny. Zach Moss is one of my starts.
Yeah, Zach Moss is still playing solid. Didn't have his big 36-point outing, but he still had, I think, like 15 last week. He was a big checkdown option to Gardner Minshew. They're playing Cleveland, and Cleveland has been a very tough defense so far. They've slipped up here and there, but overall they've been great. And going up against an Anthony Richardson-less Colts offense, sit JT for right now. And then another start. Let's get into our receivers. One start I have is Drake London versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Drake London is finally being treated as the number one in Atlanta. First couple weeks started off a little bit slow, but Desmond Ridder has been throwing the ball a little bit more, and he's looked better. We talked about it with getting the ball to his tight ends. We've seen a little less production from Bijan and Algier, but I like Drake London against the Bucs, and Bucs have struggled against number one wide receivers as well.
Yeah.
They don't have that true number one corner.
Yep.
I mean, they have a couple guys who are solid, but they're just not a true lockdown guy on the outside. So give me Drake London, and then a sit at wide receiver. Excuse me. Give me Michael Thomas versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. With Michael Thomas, I don't know, man. He's just not that fantasy relevant anymore. It's tough. It's really tough. I mean, he's healthy.
He's getting targets, but it's just he's not getting much production.
It's just I just think there's just too much time away.
Yeah.
And it's just, he's just not the same guy anymore. He's still out there. As long as he's healthy, he's going to be, getting the looks. Hopefully, he catches some fire. But, yeah. And then Jonnu Smith, another Falcon. Give him a start as well, tight end. That's a sleeper.
Bingo. For my starts, I don't have it in that exact order. But just to list a few, Gabe Davis is a great start this week against a very shaky Patriots defense. So big play Gabe, I think, will come back and have a bounce back from his 3.
It's not prime time though.
It's not prime time. That's true.
I mean, he didn't score last week either.
I think he's due. He had a 4-game touchdown streak, which was pretty
nice.
fun. If you just kept rolling with Gabe Davis anytime touchdown, you'd be making money. And I think he picks back up his anytime touchdown scoring, and I think he gets open for a couple big plays. Moving on to Curtis Samuel. He's another start for me this week.
He's been great.
He, in the last 3 weeks, has been a top wide receiver. 18 points, 18 points, 14 points in his last.
He made Jahan Dodson look like
not
a backup.
At this point, he might be.
He's
might be the number
Dodson's
3.
number 3 right now.
Curtis Samuel has been getting all the love, and he deserves it because he's been playing lights out. I like Curtis Samuel starting this week. I also really like Josh Downs starting this week. We didn't see any drop off in target share or catches between Anthony Richardson and Gardner Minshew. I think we'll see a lot of short passes, a lot of quick pass game-esque plays. Josh Downs gets open, and he can get open on that short field distance, and he can take the top off as we've seen if he needs to, but he gets his bread and butter through short, quick routes. So I like Josh Downs a lot for starting this week as well. A couple sits I have Amari DiMercato.
Yeah, the experiment didn't work out.
That didn't work. I know he was a waiver wire ad last week, but I did not like what I saw. I mean, I'm probably just staying away.
He's outperformed by Damian Williams, who just came up from the practice squad.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just staying away at this point. Also, Najee Harris. I'm sitting Najee Harris. If
he's like a weekly sit at this point.
If
Somebody dropped him in a league.
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
A couple other sits that I have for this week. Where am I? Cam Akers has not been working out really well in Minnesota.
No.
I'm just staying away from Minnesota's offense outside of T.J. Hawkinson and Jordan Addison at this point.
I'd even sit Alexander Madison too.
Yeah.
I'm considering that as well.
I mean, that's honestly another solid sit. And then also Craig Reynolds. I'm not liking what I'm seeing with him as a starting running back, and I do think there's still a chance that we see Jahmyr Gibbs this week. David Montgomery, we're learning he's not just like a plug and replace player. Like you can't just like go in and expect another player to have similar production. He's a really valuable talent in this league.
Yeah.
So I don't like Craig Reynolds here either. And that's all I really got for starts and sits.
All right. I think that's all we have for today as well. Thank you guys for coming on. Happy birthday, Nico.
Very much. Thank you for my Mafia Vodka.
Of course. Please, everybody, like, comment, share, interact with us, subscribe to us on all socials. We really appreciate it. Trying to get to that 1,000 follower mark on TikTok so we can go live. So these weekly episodes can go live. Subscribe to us on YouTube as well so we can start getting monetized. Even, getting that follower and like count up on TikTok as well can help us get monetized on that app as well. So by all means, but I think they're set at like 10,000 followers. So they're set up pretty high. But again, every subscribe, every follow, anything is appreciated. All counts. Use code Big Yak for Underdog Fantasy. And that's all we have. Thank you, Matt Johnson and BICBP Radio Network. Thank you, Maranto and Emerge. We'll see you guys next week for episode 67 of the Big Yak Podcast. 67. We're almost getting the big old 70. Before you know it, we'll be at episode 100. Wow. That would be crazy. It's going to be crazy. So everybody, please show some love. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week.